you're either for evil or you're for goodness.
I'm going to tell you the cynical interpretation of what you just said, and I'm not
argument, but at the end of the day, you're either for evil or you're for goodness.
I'm going to
Thomas Sowell as a right winger. He's pretty apolitical. I mean, he's conservative in terms of his economics. He's obviously trained under Milton Friedman, but that wouldn't make him produce a book that shows you statistics. I mean,
you asked the question. I'm answering your question, which was you asked what government solution to a problem. Well, in this case, the government intervened and soldiers got fewer STIs. That is a solution to a problem. But if we want to talk about public policy,
because what they are doing is they are trying to rebuild the slave system that was in place, and they're doing it with a sleight of hand. If you want to talk about a sleight of hand, it's the fact that the slave codes existed and they barred children from being able to read, Black people from being able to learn how to read for a reason, because when people are not educated, they can be easily enslaved. That is what we are seeing right now. The majority of Americans are not well read, but they're on TikTok and they're on Instagram and they believe you're recreating Plato's allegory of the cave. These people jump when they see shadows on the wall, referring to that allegory, when in reality, they have no sense of what happens when you come out of the cave. So this is intentional. The government knows what it's doing, and they believe everything they see is a reality. You're recreating Plato. Look around you, okay? Everything is falling apart. The answer is not more government. The government did this. It is absolutely foolish to believe that the government is going to solve it. It's not. Your enemy is the government. Your enemy is not Candace Owens. Your enemy is not conservatives and Republicans. Your enemy is not conservatives and Republicans. Your enemy is the government, okay?
Yep.
They are recreating the slave model that served them so well in the past.
So let me start where the Black community has been exploited since day one. I think we might agree on that. The Black community has been exploited since day one, and these systems are designed to keep us in a perpetual state of subservience, of exploitation. We never organize around the issues that we need to, and we never can achieve our liberation because we're moving in the wrong direction. I think we all agree. Instead, I think what we need to do is, as many radicals do, and I come out of a radical tradition, is we need to radically reimagine the world. We need to radically restructure the system so that we're not in a position of exploitation. We right now are being driven from schools to prisons. There's no doubt about that. But the answer isn't to not have school. And I'm not saying you're saying don't have school, but I'm in that government institutions don't work at all. Then we'd also be saying, let's get rid of the public school system, which again,
that's what I want. I think we should abolish that.
Yeah. And Donald Trump has said that, and other people have said that too.
I believe that the education system is serving children. It is actually making people non-entrepreneurial. It's turning them into robots and also slaves to government. All they do is beg for more governance to fix their own problems because they don't even know how to change a light bulb or change a tire. And yet they can rant to you about being.
Father did go to school. Yeah, he wasn't allowed to learn how to read.
Was your grandfather born that he wasn't allowed to learn how to read?
He's 50. He was born. My father was born in 1929, and his father was 48 at the time. So a quick math thing would be 18.
Your grandfather?
Yes, my father
was not allowed to learn how to read.
No, in Wilkes County, Georgia, no, it was not permissible to learn how to read in the 1880s. Although it was juridically couldn't read. He also couldn't intermarry. I mean, there was a million things. My grandfather.
I know about the marriage, but I'm just wondering what year your grandfather was born in.
Whatever 48 minus 1928. Somebody do the math for me.
Well, what happened if he was caught reading?
The issue is less about what he was punished for, but rather that the institution.
Black Americans are poorer today than in the 1950s when our grandparents were existing under Jim Crow. In terms of economic growth, we were outpacing white Americans. For some reason, that doesn't matter to you. You're like, okay, but all this stuff is good.
I agree with you. We're in prisons. We're homeless. We're committing suicide at high rates. There's lots of metrics that show us at the bottom of prosperity and at the top of misery. I'm simply saying this is the misery. I'm simply saying the solution isn't to pull the floor out from under us. It's not to take away the only thing that keeps us from completely collapsing.
That's not true. You're just wrong. It's like you're purposely not listening to the words that I am saying to you. You're saying this is the floor that's keeping us steady. I'm telling you that when the floor didn't exist, we were doing better. So take the floor. It's not a floor.
We weren't doing better.
We extended the welfares and policies to everyone that you can because you have and you will. Okay, you don't need government. The government is not your friend. The sooner you start believing in yourself.
For that clip. I mean, on multiple levels. You owe me dinner. You owe me drinks. You owe me a holiday card. You owe me probably revenue. I mean, I've always been misrepresented in that clip, but we'll talk about that on your